Give it a try. I'll go back.
Okay.
Fix it on the fly if we have to.
Sometimes that's how it works.
Hey guys, welcome back. First of all, I want to make sure you can hear us. Hi, I'm me.
If you're not Mr. Meeseeks, you're just me.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Let us know.
Let us know if you can hear us.
That's somewhat important.
Yes.
Yes. And of course,
Yes.
go check out our edited videos today. The Is Law in Starfleet. Now, this was filmed before we did our live, but we had other different topics. It's amazing how when we have different zones, we have different ideas. So that's legitimately a different idea. And of course, our Titan Thursday animation. Titan Tuesday was a shot with Jupiter Station, almost 5,000 views. And today, the Titan A meets the Klingon Defense Force.
Oh, today's is
Thank you.
beautiful.
Why especially?
Yeah, fantastic.
Why especially?
I don't know, just that slow pan of the ship. I don't know. Something, and just the stuff in the background going on. Something about it just really spoke to me. It was like, oh, yes.
All of the canon, perhaps?
Yes, that too.
Yeah, this is originally it was going to be a mimic of the Enterprise E shot from First Contact when it first appears, but I couldn't get the timings working, so it wasn't interesting enough. So I made this grandiose Klingon shot instead. Same basic angle, just it worked better structurally.
It's really pretty.
And I like it. Yeah, I like the idea that it's near a Klingon station, not being aggressive. It's a small thing, but you know, we shouldn't be fighting Klingons at all times. So I thought that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
All right,
my
well,
logic.
Check out that animation as well, guys.
And
Every
share.
Tuesday and Thursday leading up to Picard, we got stuff coming out. And
Yeah.
all during Picard, did you say?
Yes, I'm trying. Yeah,
Oh?
I've got some more to come. I have to get them approved. I want to get them approved. But yes, more to show. I've got a couple, and those are very varied. I've got one that's really I'm excited to show, and they're all excited, but that one's really really special, and a few that are just like pretty, like sci-fi shots.
Nice.
And one that's inspired by the trailer, which is funny. I can now do trailer shots, but yeah, funny how that goes. I'm going to ask the audience something, and I think you can tell what I'm going to ask them.
I can tell what I can't tell what they're. Oh, do you think it's a museum? Yes or no? Good poll. Go vote on the poll once it pops up. Yeah, today's live is a follow-up of yesterday's video, and we were going to do this yesterday, but unfortunately things came up and we couldn't get to the live yesterday, so we apologize for that.
Well, they didn't know, so it's fine.
I know. That's why I'm glad I didn't schedule it, because I was going to and see how it worked out. Wouldn't have worked out well.
Yes.
This way nobody knows until I tell them, or unless I tell them, which I haven't told. Oh, I have. Oh.
I'll start sharing.
Everything's running smoothly over here. Don't worry.
Yeah. Nothing to see here. Move along.
Nothing to see here. Move along.
Alan Rain, counter, move along.
Yeah. All right, guys. So hit that like button if you're just joining us. This will be a fun discussion. Dan's already made the thing that he zoomed in, and you can't really make out much, but you can when you get higher resolution images. We have zoomed in. We have looked at shapes. If you haven't seen our edited video about this, like I said, it was released yesterday. Go check it out. We identified quite a few of the ships, which we're still not 100% sure this is a museum because, I mean, we're working on it. But it looks like a museum because there's a lot of old ships there. We'll have some renders and stuff of matching angles so you guys can see. And yeah, we want to kind of get your take on this Starfleet or Starship Museum thing. It's going to be fantastic to finally see this, if this is what it is. So, you know, we've heard about the museum a few times in the course of Trek canon, and yeah, I'm excited to see it finally on screen. So, but anyway, like the video, hit that like button, super chat in your thoughts. We want to hear them, and by all means, if you want to join the channel, please do so. There's a join button down there. It helps us on a monthly basis, as does going to Patreon/Trekyards. It's another monthly way to help us out, and it all is important. It all makes a big deal, and you know, keeps things going. So help us out in any way you can. Also, there are links down below to the TeePublic and the Teespring store. There's lots of cool Trekyards merch, lots of really good shirts and designs. Go check those out and maybe pick yourself up something to wear, or to give somebody else to wear, or frame, put on your wall. I don't know, but lots of ways to help us out. So please do so. All right. Yeah, so we're going to get into this. Hopefully you guys have some thoughts based on what we talked about and what we show you guys. But can just use a holodeck. Well, that's true, but it's still not the same. As Picard said in First Contact, the tactile touch of the Phoenix was important, and Data was confused by that. But no, it links you to it in a personal way. So you'd still need museums, even though you do have holodecks. Sorry to say. But yeah, looks like evil Geordi. I mean, he does look rather pissed off there, yes. But maybe he is evil. We don't know. Now, what will the crew be doing there? Visiting. Maybe they have to acquire a ship, an old ship, We'll talk about that. We'll get into all that. That's part of this discussion, actually. Maybe they need an old piece of technology or some kind of quantum resonance that was embedded in the hull of an old ship that they need to get it. I don't know. Technobabble. Anything can be explained. So go vote on the poll, guys. Is the space station the ship museum? Yes or no? Dun, dun, dun. Pretty good options there. So
just also posted the animation on Twitter since I was there. I wanted to
on the Twitters
get me some views if possible. But yes. Hello, Stuart.
Hello.
I mean, I know we're saying it with such certainty, but what else would a space station be doing with a bird of prey? We'll look at them all in a minute, but a variety of classic ships. It seems, what else could it be? We say confidence.
Mirlost in the chat says, well, you have a holodeck. You don't need a museum, but you do, because First Contact, Picard talks about touching the Phoenix and how it links you to it in a personal way. So you didn't hear that part when you were sharing.
See, I don't quite get that. Many people said that in our video. Why would you want a holodeck versus the real thing?
Exactly.
I don't understand that.
The real thing's done the things. The holodeck recreation is just that. It's a recreation. It's not the thing that did the things.
I mean, by the same logic, every museum, why don't they just build new replicas of everything? They'll be stronger, last longer, be more be more put together. Like, the point is they could build a new space shuttle for every museum in the world. They don't. They use the original space shuttles. They could build new ones. I don't understand the logic of holodeck.
I mean, I can see the real thing working in conjunction with a holodeck. Like, you have the real thing there. It's been thoroughly scanned. You can, walk around it. Like, those rings could be gangways where they have windows. You walk around, you can see the ship in all its glory, and then go inside, and there's a holodeck. You can go on the bridge on the holodeck because it's recreated exactly the same, but they don't want to damage the actual real one by having people tramping through it all the time.
I mean, lots of these things fought in space battles, Stuart. They can deal with tourists.
You say that, but I mean, there are museums where you can't touch things because they do degrade over time. So it's there, it's right in front of you, but you can't touch it. Whereas if you go on the holodeck, you can at least interact with it, whatever. So I think it'd be a nice mix of both.
Then you certainly wouldn't travel here. Like, if people value the real over the hollow, museums should exist. If everyone thinks hologram is usable for everything,
but the holodeck programs are only available at the museum. They're not sourced out. They're not sourced out, so you can't just access it on your ship. You have to go to the museum to get the experience.
Exclusive to the to PS5 and Space Museum. It's the exclusive DLC. I mean,
exactly.
I would think though that obviously you could do a direct, perfect recreation, but there's a certain difference with if you were to go on a holodeck and say, computer, recreate the Enterprise B bridge, it would recreate it at its peak moment, potentially, right?
Or circa whatever you say the year.
Sure, but there's obviously a default, and you wouldn't necessarily know enough to ask specifics. But if you go onto the real one, it has all of the real dirt, stains, battle damage, that is so specific to the culmination of its life. I doubt you'd say recreate the Enterprise B circa today on museum. And if you did, there's obviously in this part of the timeline why do people value real books? Because reality has a realness to it. Why do people value real food? You know, all of Jake Sisko's granddad, Sisko's dad. He gets food, he cooks it. It's all fresh, even though they could walk down the street and get replicator food, because there's a value to real, and almost intangibility. So in a world where there's no limits of we don't need for anything, anybody could use a holodeck anywhere. But if you've got the ability to go to the real thing, bloody hell, there's an entire scene in First Contact. He walks up and touches it because he says, "Oh, it feels real." That scene would have been meaningless. It would have been like, "I've seen this 5,000 times." But there's an entire scene of it being real. Yes, I know it's in the past. It's actually in the point beforehand. But like Picard is a testament to, well, the real is important. So I don't understand the
considering he's also an archaeologist.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Not everyone wants everything. You know, this is only for certain people because it's a faff to get to. I'm sure. Like, I don't know if it's around Earth or not. Who knows? But I don't know.
I'm sure like special people like captains and admirals or whatever can beam aboard the actual ship. Maybe. I don't know if just anybody could go up and do that necessarily. I don't have a problem with it if they can, but trying to. It could be fun to have like an interactive holodeck where you can actually experience the battle of whatever on the ship.
Sure, but then you could just have a series of rooms in the space station, and that I agree that's probably also a good idea too. The theme park ride equivalent, because you certainly won't be able to fly the ship inside the real ship. But it's funny. I actually did a fan film recently where I wrote wrote some dialogue where it's not Sulu, Chekhov and Uhura are both alive. This is just after Nichelle died. I wrote as a tribute that somebody likes going to a station because it's got one of the old ships in it. I think it's the original Excelsior, and Sulu goes back to do talks on the real bridge, and that's like Kirk going to Ticonderoga. It's an event. You get to see the man in action, talk about it, and get a tour with Sulu. That's super special. Obviously, a holodeck could do it tomorrow, but it would not be the same in any way. So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This will be a fun discussion, I think. Sergeant Montgomery, though, $2. Museum and 5-star Hilton Hotel. It's #1 layout. Hey, it would work.
Can you imagine if there's like a Star Trek the Experience Easter egg? Like in it, they're in the inside and it's on a green screen. And you just see like the experience, the exact.
That'd be great.
It makes sense though.
Yeah.
Of the experience. Oh, there should be a Quarks in here though. Surely. I mean, we know that that went out there. So
they're franchised.
They're
franchised.
franchised.
Like 27 franchises.
Yeah. One should be at the museum.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying as a joke, but that really should happen. That's actually really obvious.
Yeah. Ochinomu puts in $2.
Thanks so much.
We know there's a fleet museum mentioned in Relics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, exactly. I mean, they've mentioned it many times.
Yes.
It's just a case of how do you visualize seeing it.
Now, yeah, Damon says perhaps the rings are holographic projectors. The ships are not necessarily real. I mean, for a ship that got destroyed, sure, I'd buy that. But if the ship actually was retired and still existed, you'd want the actual physical ship there. Could be a combination of both. Like some could be real, some could be holographic.
And besides, if it was holographic rings, then there should be way more of them. You could have every ship from every era just sitting there. You wouldn't, there wouldn't be.
No, you just push the button for the ship you want. And it just like zoom.
Well, that too. Yeah. But I would find the fun then of having like 80 projectors, because then there's no just have all of them. That's what I would do. Oh man.
Yeah. Well. The theme park kind of stuff on Lower Decks. Yes, they did. The Bozeman, Montana first warp flight theme park.
Yeah, it's a thing. We are not making this up.
No, we're not.
I mean, it's such an obvious thing. Although those phoenixes aren't real, but that is a theme park versus just a thing.
And Dan Bevan says Admiral Janeway in Endgame, Voyager is a museum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you'd be able to go on Voyager and walk around.
See, ignore this for a second. What did you imagine when they always talk about museum? What would you have imagined it was?
I just imagined like a complex, like
Well,
something like
space
Utopia
or
Planitia.
ground, first of all.
Space.
Okay.
Like above the Utopia Planitia, just a bunch of dry docks with different ships in. That's kind of what
Mm.
I pictured when I thought of it. And kind of
Hmm.
like a complex more, or you have to travel with each one by a travel pod or something.
Mm-hmm.
But this I love the fact that that's probably Spacedock, and it's old and outdated
OG.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got ships inside parked. You got ships outside on the rings, which are added. So the whole thing is a museum, even the interiors, and the fact that the Hilton comment that it be a hotel or like a destination kind of thing. I would go. So hey,
Yeah, but our bar is
why-
slightly more ship based than other people's, Stuart. So let's not pretend that we're a good case study. Would we go? Yes, of course we'd go.
it would be cool if like right before this shot, you see like this huge new space dock, and then they pan
Mhm.
over and there's the old one.
Yeah. Yeah, entirely
That would-
possible.
yeah, I think that'd be great.
I mean, I kind of don't want it to be at Earth. I kind of like the idea there's a dedicated planet that's like near Earth.
Planet?
Huh?
Museum planet?
Yeah, because then you could have like maybe like academies on the ground, like a whole learning thing, almost like you donated the ships to a fleet museum, and this planet isn't maybe well not Memory Alpha. We know that's a desert planet with a thing on, but like a just a you know
Mm.
because then also it's like how much have we got at Earth? Well, academy, headquarters, main space dock, museum, the original Smithsonian probably. Like you've sort of got everything's at Earth, which is fine. But this isn't necessarily an Earth planet to me. It's just planet. It could be. It probably is. But I'm just I don't know.
Tom Ellerman, $20.
Mm.
Says, beer money for your museum tour. Thank you, sir.
Yes, that helps so much.
Hope you're feeling better, by the way. He just had surgery. Had some discs replaced in his back, and he's feeling pretty good. Well, he's feeling pretty good.
Okay.
Good surgery, so
Yeah,
I just wanted to check up on him.
I've had back pain my whole life in varying degrees, so I'm assuming I'm going to have something when I'm in my older years. So
Me too.
I look forward to that. Good, yeah.
Eric Skelton, $10. If they turn that space station into future Disneyland, it's gonna bum me out. That station is to Star Trek fans what the Pentagon and the White House are to Americans. It's a symbol of truth and justice. Oh my good God. All right. Well, first of all, the Pentagon is probably a fucking museum at this point too, because there would be no need for it. Keep the building around. It's an interesting building, and yes, it has a long history. Sure, but things get old, man. The new ships can't even fit in Spacedock. The Enterprise D, the Galaxy classes couldn't fit.
That is true. No, that's actually a very good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So I mean, you need it for something. I think it's perfect.
Because we talked about this in our edited version of this, which already come out, and I pointed out, yes, obviously we saw in TNG that the Enterprise D could dock, but most of the time that was the other bigger space station. It does go to Earth.
That was Starbase 74 that it docked at.
But there was one time I went to Earth as well, and I think they use the same footage. I'm not quite sure, but it's they can't just make the doors bigger, so it has to be a certain scale, and nothing bigger than like an ambassador probably wouldn't be able to fit either. I mean, barely. So D and and even the E is because remember the original Connie is about the length of the Enterprise D's nacelle. Sorry, so there's only so much room on the inside. I mean, how much could the E genuinely maneuver? And if you're then going old ships, so yeah, maybe that was the case. They said, hey, we can't fit anything in the last 10 years in. This thing's going to move over there, building a new one. That's actually a very logical transition.
And Uchan Amu says, considering how big they make Spacedock for the D to enter, this could be 10 times as big. Has anyone done the math based on the ships we see? Yes. You can see a Constitution class refit and see the doors as well, which is right near them.
It's the right scale.
Near it, and it's exactly the right scale. Trust me, we've looked.
And that is true.
And our Starbase 74 or our Spacedock episode, we talk about that quite a bit too.
Oh yeah, I do both scales, don't I? It's insane.
Yeah.
So that is true. We do know they already made bigger ones in TNG. So in fairness, and that actually might be the full case. They upsized one for reasons, and this one is the classic. It's not even been used as the main one for 50, 60 years. Now, I don't have a problem with it being a museum and being gutted to be, like I said, schools, academies, lecture halls, not theme park per se, but like a place to learn, because tangibly be able to walk on 200 years of ships. An NX, from NX to I mean, it was an Akira there, so NX to Akira. And if there's everything in between major ships, that is, I mean, you could within a day or two experience the guts of all these ships, and if they maintain their quality, go and look at the computer core, look at isolinear chips from Duotronics, from pre-Duotronic to Duotronic to isolinear. Like, that's a really interesting learning curve. And how many times they make simulations of the holodeck and variables don't account for reality, or they go scan real ones, learn about real ones, fire it up and see how unstable it is. Like, there's like, replicating Duotronics will not be the same as real Duotronics made at the time. Like, it will be maybe technically perfect, but not actually an equivalency, I would think.
Well, Dan makes a good point. Did you know that in the script for Relics originally said that the Fleet Museum was located at Memory Alpha from TOS, but they removed it from the script. That would make perfect sense to have a Fleet Museum at Memory Alpha, to be perfectly fair.
But it's not a very hospitable planet, though.
Wow.
So
that's why it's in orbit.
Yeah, but then if you want to save the crew, then emergency landing to a place that's not very nice is not very nice. I mean, it just makes sense to have a green planet, given you've got so many planets.
Yeah. Dan Bevan says, a symbol of justice, Starfleet ideal is what a perfect place to educate Federation citizens, in my opinion. The history alone would captivate people. Yes. Absolutely. Eric Skelton, $2. Just give the station a bigger head. Duh.
But then it won't fit in the... But then we'll look out of proportion. You've got to have it look the same. Can't change it. Gosh. What's wrong with these people?
We've examined these. We've zoomed in. Like I said, we have the video that came out yesterday talking all about this with some renders and stuff. So check that out, guys, if you haven't. We're going to look at that again, and maybe you guys can figure out one or two of the shapes that we can't. But we did a pretty good job of figuring out what ships are there. So
yes, let me find that once again, load that up, because I did all the work as past me.
And Tim says, I like the idea. It is the movie era space station. Now Fleet Museum. I wonder if then the TNG era Starbase 74 was destroyed during the Green Attack, and now there is a brand new one we saw. Trailer. No, Starbase 74 was not at Earth. Starbase 74 was at, I can't remember the planet's name, but it was at a different planet. So,
which is why it was double confusing that they used reuse stock footage. I mean, it's brilliant footage. That's why they used it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the moon was there too. Or did they take the moon out?
I think they took the moon out. Yeah.
Something was different. Yeah.
Yeah, because the giant retcon. I mean, it was very unspecific. Then it was like, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Ooh, Dave. If Spacedock is a museum, then what are the odds that Lore is a museum then? Or Lore, I think, is that the museum? Hey, maybe they go to the museum to get Lore back. Maybe he is on display and not activated or something.
Well, that's interesting.
Because Data's been ionized.
But Maddox would have kept him. I mean, really,
I think they would have assembled B4 for the museum.
Yeah, well, yeah. But the thing is, that sort of situation, it's like, would you have a live quantum torpedo in the museum or a dummy one?
Oh,
a dummy one.
It's also kind of creepy and weird to have, like, this used to be a sentient being. Here's an exact copy of him. Yeah, exactly.
No.
Staring at the.
No, I would do a replica of, like, you wouldn't want to put genuine Sung level neural stuff on display. I would keep that, like it should be with Jurati in the lab.
Well, they would just have the shell of B4 there. They'd take all those positronic brains out.
Okay, yeah. So, that feels.
I know,
gross.
I know. That's like going to a museum and seeing like. Well, you can. You can see the mummies and stuff that have been preserved. It's kind of the same thing. It's a little bit creepy. They were people once, and now they're just for your entertainment.
So anyway, here's the shots.
That's beautiful.
So this was super interesting because we each picked different ones here. You clocked the bird of prey,
the Romulan bird of prey.
Romulan bird of prey, and of course the refit. I'm still not fully sold on the Oberth, but that's okay. Mega Destroyer is obviously a joke, but it's close. The bird of prey I'm sure about. Defiant I'm sure about. There's only three 4 here we haven't identified because they're even blurrier, and a flat ship has no silhouette because it's flat. Now, there could be an NX era, Discovery era, there are plenty of Discovery era ships, and this is one of those things that I wouldn't... If they include a TOS ship and a refit ship, and, you know, if they include everything, obviously I don't want to remove Discovery from canon, even though it's confusing. If they put a Discovery era ship, it's like, well, it makes sense to. It's just, you know, if you have a Discovery era ship and a TOS colony, say, if we're going bold here, right? Then it's like saying, well, they're both canon. Take that, Trekyards, in a funny way. Like, well, hey, it's all canon, despite scaling, whatever.
Well, I mean, there was a one cut-out scene from the Kelvin film 2009 where they had like the original Constitution class displayed from the ceiling and they panned down.
Yeah.
They cut that out.
Bastards. I mean, yes.
Let's see. There's some good comments here. Will it be called the Smithsonian Starship Museum? Probably not, because I think Olam Drab is right that Smithsonian still exists on Earth. Yeah. Actually, museum is something you would definitely keep on Earth. Like I think the Smithsonian would still be there.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see, or maybe an android exhibit with Mudd's androids.
Ooh,
hey. Yeah, androids throughout time, as we know about.
And wouldn't it be funny if then Mudd from Discovery's there, one of his androids? That'd be an epic cameo. You can do it.
Dan Bevan, there could totally be a top secret section of the museum that only those in the know are aware of. Thinking like the Black Archive, Doctor Who.
Well,
kind of thing hidden away in the museum. Could be. I mean, the Smithsonian has
secret dark rooms.
Back rooms that have some stuff that isn't on display that's historically important, but they don't want to display it for whatever reason. And it could be they're going here because one of the ships that is here has like a specific quantum resonance within its hull from an incident that they need, and blah blah.
Yeah.
Technobabble.
Yep. Yep. They have to go old school to do a new school solution. But David says, I read somewhere that when the Enterprise got to letter M, they built it exactly like the original, and M stands for museum. That's from Star Trek Gods and Men, the fan film. It was the Enterprise 1701M, made in the Wrath of Khan era as a museum, which is great.
Yep.
It's fun. It's silly, because obviously when you get to the Enterprise M, it's like, which M is this, the museum or the M? Shut up, Dave. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
Northwest Rail fan says, isn't the Phoenix supposed to be at the Smithsonian? Yes. And the Phoenix would be at the actual Smithsonian on Earth, because it was an Earth-based ship, and it would have probably been fit in one of their hangars on display with all the Kitty Hawk and all the important like first flight ships. But it's not a spaceship, really. It's a rocket. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it'd be fine if they then joked there would be the real Smithsonian here as well, so you could see the space shuttle, lunar lander, you know, with green screen digital. I mean, they could put everything. It could be a hell of a scene. You're flying a shuttle, and there's literally a NASA wing, you know.
Christoph Hay, the ship behind the bird of prey looks like a Permilian battle cruiser. Maybe? Did Picard say he saw one in a museum? I know he was always fascinated with them.
Mean, let's look at it from.
It's a possibility. I mean, nothing.
I mean, we know that they put the little bottle Permedian battleship on his desk in Picard as reference. That was an Eagle Moss one they used. So, let's have a look. Star Trek.
Yeah, I think that they've never seen one though. I forget whether he said he saw one in a museum.
I mean, it's got a pretty specific structure. The color's right. I don't feel like the front is right, and they're all pretty much facing the same way, like they're going around. Well, no,
Starman Falls says the NX-01 should be there. Hoping for the refit. That would be friggin' great to have the refitted SS Enterprise, as it's called, there, so we can actually see it on screen. That'd be fantastic.
So, visiting a Permedian battlecruiser was always a dream of Jean-Luc Picard's. A dream he had ever since he was a child when he used to build model ships. So no, there wasn't one.
Yeah, because he would have visited.
Yeah. Not to say they couldn't find a second one. I mean, I'm not against that. It's a hell of a reference. Yeah. What was the other thing you said? NX refit. Now that's obviously they got Doug's. I mean, they went with Doug. They get his model. It's wouldn't be an issue at all.
And it was in season 2.
Yeah. I mean, I prefer to see the NX original because it's what was actually fully canon, but it would certainly add I don't know. That's a tricky one. I mean, we all take it as canon anyway, like actually space canon. I don't know. Or is it kind of fun to think the Enterprise got blown up in the war as a big bold sacrifice? Is that almost not a better story?
Kind of.
It was such an epic war. Because I mean, we lost the original Connie, we lost the C, the B is unknown. So if they throw it in here, it's not unknown anymore. We lost the D and the E. So for the most part, we lose all the Enterprise. I mean, we lost the D. We didn't lose the E.
We lost the D's Star Trek section.
Well, I mean,
the saucer if they could recover it off the. Off original 3.
I mean, that's half the ship, but the other thing was trashed. I mean, it's like saying, well, we've got the car chassis, but no engine, wheels, or interior.
I can see them taking another Galaxy class though, and just putting the Enterprise registry on it. Pretty important ship. But...
Well, yeah, because I mean, why would? I mean, that bridge was so trashed. It's a full rebuild. There's no repairing it. There's rebuilding it. And
it was total.
I mean, you assume every window's been smashed. There's all
the airbags went off.
And those are a bitch to reinstall. No, I actually agree with you. It almost seems. I mean, it would take so much work to repair that ship. And then would it? I mean, yeah, you're right. Just take an old Galaxy, re-registry it, put it in the Because then, what's the museum part of it, right? You're not going to have the rooms be the same because that involves personal belongings. The Star Drive doesn't exist. The engines aren't there, and that's a history piece.
I think too. It's also the people that served on the ship are still alive. They're old, sure, but not really for the future. They're not that old as people. Just seems kind of weird to, like, would you have a recreation of Picard's quarters inside?
Yes.
With replicas of all this stuff, you could replicate it all.
Yeah.
Might be interesting. I don't know.
I mean, it'd be a hell of a tour, and you can imagine if we've been fighting for this. You know, I've been said E and the D. Obviously, you can't really necessarily do both, but the idea of having a scene where maybe, you know, we see them go to Spacedock. Maybe they see a like you said, refitted or redone Enterprise D. They had a slightly inferior model at the start of Picard's, and they've got something in the archives. You know, it'd be fun if they did, you know, beam to the transporter room and they be part of an average tour. There's a funny scene in Stargate where there's a tour in an alternate future where Daniel and Sam do the full tour. They're wearing hats and stuff, so you can't tell. And then someone recognises them. It's like, oh, you worked here. It's like, yeah. Why taking a tour? But the person thinks no more than they did because they're the tour guide, but they worked here. So I can imagine a funny scene where there's someone in like a TNG uniform who's the tour guide taking them through. And it's like, Admirals Picard and Captain. Oh my God. Yes, it's this way to transport room 3. Well, we changed it for the tour. You know, you could, you know, just walking down a corridor would be sweet.
Yeah, I hope there's a TOS Constitution class as well.
I mean, if you're doing a museum,
well,
how can you not?
It is, as Dan says in Relics, Picard says Constitution class, and Scotty's like, "Aye, you're familiar with them? There's one in the Fleet Museum, so there's at least one in a Fleet Museum."
Yeah.
Perfect opportunity, and you would think the Constitution class, and if they do the refit NX, they would be inside the Spacedock as opposed to out in the outer rings. Possibly. Because they're older, they're more fragile, more or less. At least there's a Constitution class refit there. Probably the Enterprise A.
Yeah, because that thing did not blow up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly, you know, I would obviously put a Connie in the scene, but that's just me.
What about Khan's DY-100? Oh, that'd be perfect for a museum. It's an old piece of space tech. Just go tractor it, bring it back. Yeah.
I mean, that's bold, but I like it. Speaking of bold, guys, we're now an hour in with only a fourth of our minimum super chats. It's a great conversation, 100 people. We'd love a slew of $5 now. These lives do...
No. It was 34 minutes.
Oh, sorry, because we started... Yeah, well...
So we got a quarter of our amount in the quarter of the time.
Well, maybe. So keep going, guys. Like I said, we do rely on these to pay our rent and provide the free videos for you. in all the many mediums. So put in your thoughts, comments, questions, and help control the conversation. We would like to know what you think, thought, and ideas. It's important to us. It's important.
Absolutely. Tom Ellerman is out. Peace out, guys.
Goodbye.
Later, Tom. Feel better soon.
Yes, please do.
I was going to say something.
Sorry.
I can't remember what it is now. That's all right. See, that's what I was going to say. I could literally have a show, 10-episode show about the goddamn Starfleet Museum. Things I would like to see. So I don't know how much they're going to show us. It's going to be... This episode's going to keep us busy for a long time. I'm sure of it, with all of the stuff we're going to talk about. But I don't know how much they're going to show us necessarily. I think you're going to be a few things in the background or walk-bys.
Oh.
Let's be like, I want to see that.
I mean, as cynical as it is, when the first episode came out, and the second episode of Picard Season 2, showing Gul Dukat's skull, showing an Akira, showing all these things, often they could become a headline for a news site and gain views, which is obviously easy promotion. So if this episode was basically a bottle show, or like 2 episodes before it, all on the Titan sets, obviously saving money left, right, and centre, mostly CG costs, then they could invest in building this fleet. And given, remember, Stuart, the very important fact that this show was finished in December. Like, locked, finished. So this thing has not been rushed. It's not been drawn out. It's not been reshoots. Everything was done to plan, on time, early, polished, great. So if they wanted to say, right, we'll do the museum stuff near the end, a la last trailer, and for that we need to build an extra 9 assets or convert them, whatever, they had the extra buffer time to do it. So they could pull out all the stops. And if they do show a real Connie or an X-refit, each single shot might be a news article from a site, get them free publicity, in essence, and fans talking, and yes, maybe blow us all away in one episode. But it's news cycle, it's growing interest, and who knows what, seeing a real bird of prey again for the first time in a very long time, or a Connie, how many new people might come on board just because they saw that. So this is, if it's early enough, this might be the big promotion episode of like, we respect you guys, here's all the legacies of Trek in one oomph. So it's you got to think slightly cynically, like it could be a genius marketing tool, and that's also okay, because bring us that stuff and I'm fine with it.
Yeah. E.R. Mixon's craziest theory says Interlock Scotty also said something about taking the Enterprise out of mothballs. So that suggests Enterprise A still exists. Mm-hmm. Probably would be a museum piece at this point.
Well, it got decommissioned. Like in that, pretty much that movie. And
yes, they would have fixed the hole in it, very likely. Somebody said that in the chat too.
Yeah, all those scorch marks. But would they have kept the Enterprise D engineering room? You know, my favourite shot of Starship 6 is when they close the blast doors, and you see the reflection of the Enterprise D warp core in it.
Yeah, I know.
And it's like just turn it off for that shot. You can see the entire set, and it's like we know we see an earlier shot, but it's like it's not been changed. And you think you see the LCARs, the wrong LCARs, because there's one shot where Scotty's on the station, and the LCARs just out of frame, like just the edge of frame, are still TNG ones, and everything close to frame is. But I love that reflection shot. It's so distracting.
Yeah. Eric Skelton, $5. Ask Terry Metalis. He lives on Twitter morning, noon, and night. We might talk to Terry. Who knows?
I mean, he's sharing our work every week, twice a week, Stuart. Twice a week.
So it's a good. Let's see. A lower deck style episode filled with callbacks. Hell yeah.
Just using the universe. But Stuart, is it time for an ad?
Yes, apparently. I didn't see that, but okay, there we go.
No, because I was in control for once, Stuart. I was.
Where you were. Usually you'll say it and it'll pop up on mine at the same time, but
Helleraz has the best comment.
Hold on, I'm not there yet.
Okay then, shut the hell up, Sam. I get it. I
got some really great comments on this live. I was looking forward to this live. So yeah. Sergeant Montgomery, the Red Angel suit. Oh Jesus!
I mean that could be in the Smithsonian as a ancient piece of ship lore, I guess. Yeah.
Ooh, Northwest Rail fan. Do you think the shot of the Enterprise F and fleet Is the fleet heading to the Spacedock, the planet, and lighting with the Saint? Maybe they're retiring the F. It's heading to the museum.
This
Wouldn't that be a thing? No, I think that's either a flashback or a new wave of things approaching. Like the whole season's a setup to something, and then in the end episode where they, because there's I think part of Doug's thing that you showed leaked whatever about the Titan, where it's about the impulse engines and the captain name. They said it's like a relatively light cruiser. It's not particularly heavy, so
yeah.
That means the F would be significantly more capable. So there's a nice thing of where if the threat they find, and this is me just thinking as a writer, structurally, if the thing they find in their mission to do whatever they're doing becomes a well damn threat, then by the end you need to assemble a fleet, the F needs to get involved, and boom, you have this epic moment, and maybe it's Captain Kim. That'd be the obvious joke. Yeah. We've said that before, or at least through the Rhode Island. And as I've said so many goddamn times, you have an LED wall in LA and in Toronto. Fly Patrick up there. You give him one chair, out of focus set behind him, or Harry Kim, whoever, or all of them. You could have literally 10 bridges that were seamless in quality and not be, well, we couldn't build it, or looks like bad green screen. Seriously. And you just... And they got all the uniforms and maybe the 3 consoles. It's not with that technology. They could have so many epic fleet shots, or even visit the E, visit the D, and have. I mean, yes, it's less cool. I get it for those little shots, but you could make it work so well.
Area 51, $5.
Thank you.
There's an Oberth there. I'm betting people are too afraid to go aboard.
Well, torpedoes are not allowed anywhere near the station. I'll say that because and that thing just. Yes.
And Northwest Railfan says maybe it's the decommissioning museum, the entry of the Enterprise E. That'd be great if the Enterprise F was on its way to attend the decommissioning of the Enterprise E, but that would mean that the Enterprise F was new.
It'd also mean that in Generations the B is being launched before they decommission the A, which we know is the wrong way around. That wouldn't make sense. It's kind of cool, but it wouldn't make sense. Now, you could have decommissioning and going to the museum. That might be a ceremony. But the E, I guess the E's more famous than the D because it did more battle-y things that are more memorable, I suppose. But I would call the D more famous, but obviously that blew up, so variable.
Hellrats 96. Do you think the Burrell is one Kirk brought back the bounty? Yes.
Yes.
I believe it's the HMS Bounty. Yes.
I mean, honestly, you could have got Garon to lend you one anyway. But
yeah.
Yes. And I think someone said earlier in the chat as well. Wouldn't the Klingons and Romans be pissed that we have both their birds of prey? And it's like, yes, maybe.
If they brought it up at the time, right after Star Trek 4, it would be for to do reverse engineering to find out how things work, whatever. But now in this era, I don't think it would matter.
Well, it might be closer to the idea of in modern day societies are saying to other societies, "Hey, you stole our stuff 800 years ago. Give it back now." So there could be reparation-y stuff. Give us back our bird of prey. You killed.
Yeah.
What's his name? Chang, Kang, Kern, Korn.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The captain and the Burrell, the original one.
Oh, Krug.
Krug! Damn it. It's not Korn, it's Krug. Okay, well done, me.
Tron McKnight says, I think there's an oval shape near the Defiant. Is the Enterprise's saucer section?
Wrong scale. Really, really off scale. I mean, not say it can't be, but I mean, let me zoom in. But I do not think so. Is it gonna be? Well, I mean, let's see. Let's actually start to look at them. So we'll look at the one next to the, because this is reasonably good still.
Let me catch up on a few comments.
Yeah. So what do you guys think the one above the Defiant is? 'Cause clearly that's the Defiant. I mean, you can see it, guys. I matched the angle. Like,
wonder if they retrieved the USS Jenolan from the Dyson Sphere.
I mean, the thing's pretty trashed, but I'd like to see. I mean, they're going to send more ships to the Dyson Sphere, so it makes sense they would say, yeah. And if anything, just, you don't want to fall in enemy hands. I mean... Yeah.
Olivia throws in $5 and says nothing relevant. Hashtag justice for the Julius class ship.
Oh, because I did the ring ship already, so can't use it anymore. We had justice. What do you think, Stuart? 6,000 views in 5 days? What do you think?
It's pretty good, but it's not as good as I expected. But
okay,
still, I'm really proud of that episode. So
yes. Yes, I think you're expecting like a 10K in a day sort of view video, like the saucer separation. That one's a big one. That was the
Saucer
viral.
separation
That one
did really good.
Yeah.
Saladin.
Yeah,
Really good.
and this one's I think better than Saladin personally with the variety of things. Like I forgot about a really good debate about the two scales. That was really fun to rewatch. Like, oh yeah, and also liner and that was really good. I like that. Yeah.
Jarzia, $10.
Thank you.
Given all the ships have their port side pointed towards the starbase,
Yep.
the ship behind the bird of prey is pointed straight at us. From that angle, doesn't it look like a Katinga?
No, that's the one behind the bird of prey, directly behind. I mean, I can kind of see what you mean, but it's certainly not a Mega Destroyer one. That's not it. Well, no. Oh well. Okay. No, actually, now you've said that.
You're right. That looks very much like.
But it's because you can't see the left wing.
Yeah.
Let me do a Photoshop because now you've said that. You've got to look at a new perspective. Interesting. Because the color's also wrong, but it's TMP. Maybe it got enough. Oh, I'm gonna do some photoshopping.
Sean Horton says, seriously thinking they're going to blow up the Enterprise F for shock value, same as how they kill off a legacy character. I would prefer that to killing off a character, personally. It'd be epic if the Enterprise F gets destroyed, but I don't think they're going to do that either. So,
I mean, yeah.
Eric Skelton, $5. Since I'm spending money, can you explain the Wild Angel, whatever Red Angel plot to me? Still confused. No, we don't understand it either.
I mean,
I build it in a day.
Yes, using antiquated technology. Red Angel. It was a suit that was designed in the pre-Cage era by Michael Burnham's mum and dad. It used a time crystal that was found or stolen on Borath. It had to be charged by the power of a sun, which it was wirelessly able to drag power from across the solar system. It was faulty, so when it was used, when the Klingons killed the mum and the dad, they used it, and it didn't have a proper enough time bullshit. But the problem is that it used a rubber banding effect to keep it centered. And when she travelled into the future to avoid... She didn't mean to, but she travelled into the future. It kept her locked that time period for some reason, which is like a huge flaw. And so whenever she moved in the timeline, she always brought back to that point. For some reason, that was a thing. But it was built pre-Cage. It was entirely Federation tech. Nothing special, no future tech. And it could do unlimited time travel on one crystal, easy to charge. It was also a TARDIS. It could travel anywhere in the galaxy because she travelled to a different quadrant. So it was unlimited travel in space and time, and it could also create a larger wormhole which other things could go through, because it wasn't just it was a wormhole it was making, so other ships could fly through it as well, as we saw several times. And it was so easy to build with so easy materials. It could be built from a Discovery's hull in 2 hours and be charged. I mean, it was bullshit. It was just total bullshit. It was it was even more. I mean, it was Doctor Who tech, really. Honestly, it was Does that help? Because that was quite a good explanation.
Yeah, it was really good. Really good. I remember more than I did. So,
I mean, we were pretty shocked by the scenes, Stuart. I remember them. It was quite specific.
It's quite traumatic. So, Tangerine Star 26, 2 pounds. Left of Oberth, a Miranda or Constellation?
Well, I'm still focused on the Katinga.
Yeah.
Okay, this might look a bit silly, but I mean, I think it sells it well. I'm pretty sold on that.
Federico Garza says, I have a question. Is the Titan A ship from Picard Season 3 a museum ship? No, it's got a modern bridge. It's a new ship.
Yep, it's actually pretty damn new. It's just a retro. So that is my sketch. Although OBS likes to be... Let me just make that a smaller frame size.
Dan Bevan says, as a side note, the whole alien foreign ship being on display, wasn't there Katingas and all manner of things in that Federation depot and TNG unification? Yes, there was. It wasn't a Federation depot, though, I don't think.
No, it wasn't. I mean, it was Federation. It wasn't Starfleet. It was in Federation space, but I don't think
Federation
Member World.
Yeah.
But not even Member World, just some dude. Now, there was, though, and I thought it was earlier, in the Lower Decks Museum, there was the Romulan Bird of Prey, still active. There was a Tholian ship. So in that respect, there was lots of things. So it certainly is a precedent for it. So yeah, here's my comparison sketch. I traced it and then moved it to the side. What gives it away to me is that the red slits of the top drive, which is on the Enterprise version, you can absolutely, I mean, there's enough color data there to say. And I can definitely see the ball. I mean, I can. What do you think, Stuart?
I think that might be correct.
Yeah.
That might be Kronos 1. You got to think historically important ships.
Dear me.
All would have been retired and a symbol of peace with the Federation.
Oh, so we gave them the A. Can you imagine? We gave them the A. They gave us Kronos 1.
They didn't want the ace to give back.
Yeah.
Right.
Actually, that would be quite nice. Actually, wouldn't that be a nice story? We flagships as a sign of peace.
Yeah.
And then Martok said, "We don't want this. It should be hauled away as museum ship."
And everybody's pointing out that Genolan got blown up at the end of Relics. Yes, it did. Was holding the doors and it got torpedoed.
I mean, it could have beamed away at the last minute.
Yes.
Maybe the Red Angel suit helped.
Dave, who's been a member for 10 months, the rank of captain. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
What are your top 3 ships that would be in your Starfleet Federation Museum at this time period? TOS Constitution class, refit, and Federation class dreadnought.
NX Classic, Enterprise Classic, Enterprise 1701, Enterprise B, because Harriman was meant to be a huge explorer. Obviously, Connie, huge explorer, and X, huge explorer. The C was not long out of. It wasn't very old when it got blown up, and the B was meant to do quite a lot of stuff. I think they said at one point Harriman was the most, like, he saw the most species. Like, he did a lot. It's entirely off screen, obviously. And I would love to see the B. I'm not, I like the B because I like Harriman a lot. I've named a character after him. I met and I managed to get an exclusive interview with the guy's name. I've forgotten his name. What's his name? Alan Tudyk.
Alan Rickman. Oh no, Alan. Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember.
Alan Ruck. There you go.
Alan Ruck, thank you.
Really nice. I showed him my film, some clips. He was very enthusiastic. I just liked his vibe. I love him in Gods and Men. So I've written for now my Harriman for 10 years in essence. I've done lots of Harriman references. So I'd love to see the B. It's just an Excelsior refit. Like, if you got an Excelsior, you can refit into the Excelsior refit. The models exist. Eaglemoss had them all. So, I mean, we know that in Picard Season 2, they used Eaglemoss models as the Akira. So there is precedent. So, I mean, show us all the Enterprise, obviously.
Tron McKnight says, could the Constitution refit be the Enterprise A? Remember in Star Trek 5, it was decommissioned at the end. Yes. I would bet money that it's the Enterprise A.
Yes. What do you guys think? Tell us in the chat right now. Is this a Klingon Katinga? Yes or no, based on my phenomenal drawing? And
I would say, I would do new poll, maybe.
Oh, yes. And for $10, I'll do new render to actually match the angle. $10, though. $10. Go take the comments.
120 people here, 81 likes. Let's get to 100 likes, guys. Hit that like button if you haven't already.
So 2 things. The poll is 148 votes. Is this space station the ship museum? Yes! 69%. A great number. Nah! 31%. Also quite high. But I think yes. There we go. Good stuff.
Cool. Charlie Anthony, 2 pounds. Darmok and Jalad at Tanagra. Yes. Let's see. Holy shit. This thing just jumped on me. Look at the ring and ship on the hull of the station. Ring and ship on the hull of the station.
Yeah, there's a shadow. Which that I don't like, because fan films do this all the time, whereby for a shadow to be that close, so if there's 2 ships over each other, right, it shouldn't shadow the other, because the light's so far away it wouldn't be that sharp.
Yeah.
Like, like a runabout on the hull, perhaps, but you're looking at like on the hull, and so whenever you see that, the scale feels off because just light wouldn't do that. That's why even if ships are next to each other, I like them separately, just because you wouldn't see the shadow. And so in this scene, you can see a shadow of one of the rings on the space station, which would only happen if the light was not. It's a weird visual thingy, Bobby.
Tangerine Star says, "Damn, yes, that could be a continue." Olivia throws in $5 and says, "Hey Sam, should I make a 3-meat pizza for a supreme pizza?"
Yeah. Yes.
Perfect. Hellrats 96, $5. Consider the Burrell and the A parked next to each other. I wonder if that is the Kirk wing of the museum. Hey,
I said that.
Get surprised. Yeah.
I said that.
Yeah.
No, it makes sense. Makes sense.
I like it. And Dan says what Trek Central says that one of them is a Ferengi ship.
We'll look at that in a minute then.
Chris Jackson, $5. CBS keeps billing this as the final season of Picard, but Patrick Stewart is doing interviews saying there could be more to come. Your thoughts? Well, he did say on one of the New York Comic Con, I think, we'd be up to doing a movie. And then on Twitter, both Gates McFadden and Jonathan Frakes, we'd be up for another series, or another season, or 2,
or 3, or 4. And it's funny because it just goes to show when Patrick's with his best friends, he wants to make more Star Trek. Great, cool. Also, Chris, that picture, I don't know if you agree, Stuart, he kind of looks like he's wearing a Cage uniform. In his profile picture.
So, who are we talking about?
Chris.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it does.
Are you wearing a Cage uniform in your car? There you go. I mean, it's always practice for these things to promote something that's not produced yet. You know, for Discovery Season 2, they promoted the Section 31 show. For Discovery Season 3, they promoted the Section 31 show. For Discovery Season 4, they promoted the Section 31 show. Do you see a pattern there? You know, at one point, Kurtzman, who doesn't say much anymore, does he?
Nope. It's like he dropped out of...
Yeah.
He doesn't exist anymore.
Wow, that's... Shrez that.
Such a shame.
That's great. You know, at one point he said... like,
Trek got better as a result.
Yeah. Yeah, at one point he was saying, like, there's 5 new Trek shows in production. Like, new ones, new ideas. And, as I've said many a time, that he might not be lying. There could be literally one person paid to work every Thursday afternoon to write possible Star Trek ideas and email them to somebody. And technically you have them in production. Technically. Right? But really, if that's all they're doing, they're not in production. Right? So, Patrick saying that might be his enthusiasm, might be he's been requested by people to amp it up, because if people think we're going to get more, they might watch it more, and they want views, which all, views and subscribers. It's an easy tactic, and talk is cheap, and that's fine, but at least it's like Daniel Craig, he was saying for his whole run in the last film, it's my last one, it's my last one, it's my last one. So there is a point of actor saying, yeah, I'm done, but saying maybe is interesting.
Olivia throws in $5 and says, right of the trace drawing of the Klingon ship, is that an airliner, like an old prop plane? No. That would be in the Smithsonian on the ground.
Yeah.
So no is mine. I have spoken. Yes, Dan, they did. There was an interview with Patrick Stewart where they said that multiple Enterprises in Picard Season 3. Yes. Do you think that the Bird of Prey is the HMS Bounty? I would put money on that.
Alright, so I think I was going to put $10 in for this T7, so that's fine. Let's move over to, the Shadow.
An Arc
Oh,
Fury.
the Shadow is the Akira. I mean, you can tell that by the silhouette. So that's...
Arc Fury says the one above the Klingon Bird of Prey could be the NX-01 refit.
I mean, it's like 7 pixels, so I'm not going to put my... But the one that's next to it is confusing. The one that's next to the refit. 'Cause I'm looking at that, and there's nothing there. It looks empty, honestly. There's like a slight distortion in the middle of the ring, but it's either a very, very flat ship or it's empty. Which, in fairness, maybe
watch this. Watch this. It's the Klingon. It's the HMS Bounty, and the cloaking device keeps going off and on and off and on and off and on because of the water damage.
So there's 2 birds of prey in the museum.
Maybe.
Right.
You don't know. You be quiet. You.
Yes. Now, I mean, in fairness, maybe there's a scene where someone stole a ship from the museum. Maybe they stole. It could be for any era. They're taking that somewhere, and Picard has to go in to find clues. I mean, it kind of looks empty to me. Now I'm staring at it in extreme zoom. And you would think a museum this big would be entirely filled with stuff at all times. Why would you ever have it empty?
Unless that fleet shot with the Enterprise F is one of the ships that's in front of it is going to the museum to dock in that ring. But there's nothing old enough in that fleet, I don't think.
Because I feel like it isn't just the fact that the silhouette. Most ships have lit elements. There's no basards here, no warp grills. Like, it can't be NX. There's no lights. There's no self-illumination. Like, there's some. I see a sort of distortion, but it can't be any Federation ship because everyone has the lights on. Well, I say that. Does the Defiant have lights? I mean, no, but it's like 2 pixels. You probably see basards. I mean, you can see them on mine, so I guess that doesn't quite work. Or maybe they're taking the refit. Maybe that's why the lights are on. Actually, maybe because maybe I'm wrong. Maybe all the ships are off.
I would love if they take the Enterprise A. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but see, you can see the Akira's warp glows. But I mean, it's just like with Prodigy. He does have impulse engines, except when it doesn't. So render errors can happen. So just because 2 ships do have warp glows on, others don't. Yeah. I can't really take that for either side, actually. But what do you guys think? What's in this ring? Or is it, empty?
Chris Jackson, $2. Could Avery Brooks make a cameo on Picard? I mean, he could. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I kind of doubt it, but it would be awesome. Let's see. Oh, fuck. Oh, where to go? Zango76 says, I hope they will display a Discovery Shuttle, the most versatile vessel in Starfleet history. Yes. Jarzia, $5. Kurt, I've never trusted Klingon museum pieces, and I never will. I can never forgive them for stealing my parking spot. Damn.
That's a bit full on, isn't it?
ER Mixon's Craziest Series says it's the rebuilt Enterprise D, digitally removed to keep the surprise. It wouldn't fit in that dock, in that ring, if the rings are all the same size.
I was so excited by that until that made a good point, yeah. Yeah.
It would fit above it, but I have a feeling... Well, I don't know. I don't have any feelings. I'll shut up.
No, that's interesting, yeah. Like I said in a previous...
It could be something removed. I would buy that.
Just turn that layer off. Yeah, that's actually quite interesting. But then again, they've already... But what would be the thing to remove? I mean, there's the refit. There's all these ships that are visibly visible. Interesting. Very interesting.
Tom McKnight says he bets that the Enterprise A becomes the Titan A. No. Interesting link, though. Enterprise A, we're just going to, make that a Titan A. No. They would never do that. And Ryan says, can't there be empty rings? I mean, yes, but...
No?
It's not likely. Most museums have, like... Even if they do have to swap out an exhibit, they put another thing there in the meantime.
And it seems like such a contrived thing to say, it happens to be, we happen to go onto it the one day a thing's getting moved, as a total coincidence. Just save render time. It seems super unlikely. Especially if there's always people here. Like, obviously, it could be situational. That's true. But it just seems very unlikely, especially as, certainly when I do CGI, you notice the absences often. in a situation where there should be something. So there's a shot where I think it's in my trailer for a film, Deep Space 12, and it has like 27 docks. I'm like, oh, I'll put them in the frontest 7 because I feel I noticed them. I thought that was important. But I love that being removed. It's definitely that. I bet you the final shot will have something there. That's a really, really yeah.
Michael Mitchell says it looks like a Galaxy class saucer section to me. It doesn't though. To you, cool. But that it breaks up the aesthetic then. Because first of all, that would be much larger.
Yes, wouldn't fit in
and there would be no ring there. It would make no sense because there's rings all around.
Yes. But the one next to it though, now there is something in there. To me, it looks like a Klingon Targ knife. But it's really flat. There's two things that protrude, one up, one down. There's no visible glows of any kind. I mean, maybe an NX, but I don't see any shapes that would say an NX. Not anything Romulan, nothing Klingon.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Matthew DeFreitas, $5.
Thank you, Matthew.
Comic-Con, Patrick Stewart suggested they step onto the Enterprise D bridge. If true, how much you want to make a bet happens at this museum?
$1,000. No, sorry, $1 million.
$1 million.
Because, you know, the lady from Austin Powers, right?
Yes.
1 million. What's her name? Veltac? Velsac? Vintac?
Vedic.
1 million Ventax. No, that's a planet. What's her name?
Vedic.
1 million Vadics. Vadik Barile, yeah?
No, not Vedic. Vadik.
I know. I mean, 5 drinks in a row.
That's the only way I can remember her name is because it's so much like Vedic.
Oh, shut up, Aaron. That's great. It was empty, but that's only arrive on Tuesday. Ha! That's
Will
fine.
the TOS Enterprise be there or the Strange New World version? Not the Strange New World version, that's for sure. And it won't be the TOS
Well,
Enterprise.
not for sure, but we hope not. Because it wasn't season 1.
And it won't be the TOS Enterprise. It'll be a TOS Constitution class. It won't be the Enterprise, though. Because it got destroyed.
But like you said, they could have
They could have
because I mean, honestly, Kirk, if his legacy, as we think he is, building a whole new fresh Connie, just to label it the Enterprise, just so people can walk around it, that would be my exception to. It didn't. It was destroyed. Don't build a new one. Like that would be the Kirk ship, the legend that is Kirk.
Yeah. Zango 76, empty space for the retired Enterprise E. Not big enough.
Not even close. The saucer would be the size of it. As Stuart said in our previous video, these are for older ships. They will not fit new stuff, which makes sense. It's a museum. It's a certain generation of ship, and that's great. Because most ships, they evolve in a time, and apart from the Akira, and the Akira is actually bigger than you think it is, but scaled down, fine, whatever. Yeah. Yes.
Maybe the empty ring was a ship that the villain in Picard season 3 stole, and Picard goes here for clues. I love that because we've looked at a lot of shots from the trailer with her and her crew, and it looks like a Federation corridor behind her. And it's dark, it's not well lit, but I like that. That's a very good idea.
No, that's great. Yeah, something famous, infamous. Imagine if she stole the original Stargazer because Picard was on the Stargazer in season 2, and they're just like, "Damn it, you swapped to the Titan! Damn it, I just stole the Stargazer." And they use the maneuver again.
Oh, people are saying that looks like a Constellation class that's on screen now. You see why they'd say that? I can see that.
Well, no, now you say that. You just have to ignore the ring part of it.
Yep.
Boy, we are pixel peeping the hell out of this. Okay, I'm going to Photoshop that because that's actually possibly true. You've got to. Okay, I'm going to Photoshop the ring in, and then the other shapes and see if it all makes sense. Interesting. It would be. I mean, it's the right era. It would be the sort of ship that it could be. Interesting.
Bliss Jericho says, in the books, the Yorktown stayed in its TOS style, and the bridge module is the one from the actual Enterprise, the TOS Enterprise. Before they did the refit, they swapped the bridge module over to the Yorktown.
Oh, okay.
I'd buy that. I like that.
It's kind of cute.
That's the books, though. Beta canon, so... But I like that idea.
But the Titan was beta canon until it wasn't.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So is this Space Museum a retired or Spacedock from Kirk's time? No way that Spacedock could have doors big enough with the Enterprise D in it, so it has to be an old Spacedock. Yeah, it is an old Spacedock. It's the Spacedock from Star Trek 3. I'll guarantee you that.
Yes.
Well, I don't guarantee it. It could be just some design with the rings. But I have a feeling if it's a museum, it's Spacedock that was converted into a museum.
Okay, so here is my rendition. Take a look. I mean, very plausible. Very, very plausible. I'm sort of extrapolating on the nacelles. The nacelles are not there. But let's say they were there. This is what it would look like.
Yeah. I could buy it.
It makes sense. And and you can see it is thicker than the ring. I mean, yeah, I'd buy that. Next for Oberth. Yeah.
Hellrats 96 puts in $5 and says, "Do you think they use different galleys and mess halls on different ships as different restaurants? What other exhibits and rides? That'd be cool."
Yeah.
I don't know if they would necessarily do that, but that'd be kind of cool.
I mean, I'd certainly like to have dinner on an iconic ship. I mean, people do go and have dinner on special ceremonies on like aircraft carriers and stuff. You know, theme days. Yeah. I mean, the Stargazer did survive. So if this is the Stargazer, that'd be cool. Yeah. Yet another Picard legacy item.
Tangerine Star 26, €2 or £2, sorry. Squeeze damn pixels, lads, to the very last polygon. Oh, we have been. We need higher resolution, but I think they did this on purpose.
But considering I am zoomed in like 800%.
Yeah.
Which is great, because this is the Starship.com version, which is higher resolution significantly than the one on Twitter, which would be a garbled mess. So there you go, in the chat right now, is this a Stargazer? In which case we are down to 2 that we haven't identified. I haven't got to them yet. So we are doing it, guys. We're doing it. We're working it out. Right now, chat. Yes, no Stargazer. Actually, well, I can do it with the poll. I asked the poll, though, with the Katinga. Is that unknown ship a Katinga? 49% up in their names in the ring saying yes.
In the ring.
Yeah. Well, how? Okay. That's a joke within a joke. 39% say can't tell, who are uncommittal. And 12% committed. No, it's not. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, Trilobite says perhaps that isn't an Akira at all. Maybe it's Riker's Titan with the Luna class.
We'll get there in a second, but I simply doubt it.
Yeah. With the slight asymmetry on top and bottom, I still kind of see a single nacelle ship being possible. Nacelle on top, engineering on bottom. Oh, like the fucking Kelvin. Well, that's the other way around. I think the engineering's on the top of the Kelvin.
Yes, yeah. It is.
Is that the classic Stargazer? I wouldn't be surprised if it was. That's the poll, guys. Go vote. Yes, no, or can't tell. By the way, we're only 4 likes away from 100, so hit that like button.
Ooh. I mean, that's the thing. Once you have a tremendous excuse to do fan wank, you commit full steam. You know? They're able to go there and do this. So, you know, go all in. And if you can get 3D models, then there you go. You've got it, you know.
Jason Ludwig says, if these are the ships that aren't even worthy to be inside, what is? Well, as I said, probably I would have the NX refit in there and the original Constitution class, at least. The ones that are a little more delicate might need to be inside, you know, in case it rains, meteors. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's relative.
Relativity class? You think that's there? That's a Wells class.
Yes, Stuart. God, wouldn't that be a mind F?
Yeah, that's what the empty ring is. The Wells class ship just appears occasionally, and then as it's needed, it just
Yeah.
Winks out.
Yeah, when the when the Time War goes well, there's a Wells there. When the Time War goes bad, Temple Cold War, it's gone. So you always know if you're in a good day or a bad day.
Yes. If things are in flux, it's
Yes.
gone. Everybody's saying yes to Stargazer. We had 100 likes, so thank you guys. That's awesome. Only problem is the TOS Defiant had a different registry number from the DS9 Defiant. Yes, that's because just the ship names carry on. Only certain ships get the suffix at the end for specific reasons. So,
yeah, I mean most ships aren't. That's the whole point. It's an obscenely, absurdly tight knit group. That's great.
It's kind of weird though that when the Sao Paulo got renamed, it wasn't the Defiant A though. Because I think it had the same registry, didn't it?
Yes, but the Defiant, of course, was only in service for 3 years. I mean, it's a bit ridiculous to say
true.
it's that important. I mean, it was important, but, you know, I mean, the Enterprise A was after, 30, 40 years of service? Of doing billions of things? I mean, of course it wouldn't be an A. The destruction factor is not the A. It's a... And yeah, I mean, it's the legacy of it that equals it. And, of course, we know why. It's because they did the 3D model, didn't want to change the... have to lose all of the stock footage shots, but why would it get the A? Like maybe if it was a season 8, I could buy it was destroyed and made an A, but I don't know why it would be an A. Otherwise, it's like saying if one ship does so many billions of cool things and gets destroyed after 2 years, there are loads of A's because loads of ships would be justifiably. It might have been Defiant A after decades, but not then.
Matthew DeFrida says it's not the Stargazer, but it is a Constellation class. Stargazer itself is the same revamped ship, as told by one of the writers. Yeah, they did say that, didn't they?
Yes, but they might have changed their mind because a lot of things.
Stupid.
Yeah, a lot of things changed between season 2 and season 3, so I would not.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
And also the way that dialogue is, it's very like, because it's clearly not the same Stargazer. It's a different size. The interior is different. The exterior is different. Nothing in it is the same. So let's be honest, it's not. I mean, so is the A to the refit, but at least they were the same scale roughly. So I think they were implying in theme it would be nothing in it's the same, not a single element. So no, I don't buy that for a single second.
Even the space frame wouldn't be big enough to do that. So
yeah, I mean, you're saying you have the curves of the original saucer inside the new saucer, which is twice as big. That doesn't make any sense.
Michael Mitchell says, I believe it was mentioned in the same episode when the Stargazer was delivered back to Picard by the Ferengi that the Stargazer would end up as a museum ship. Yes, I do believe that is the dialogue.
Well, it's old, it's damaged, it's famous, Yeah, absolutely.
Voyager is what would be worthy of the inside. I mean, yeah, Voyager going inside, sure.
The Sao Paulo had been the Defiant B, technically. Why? There was no A at that point. And the Sao Paulo...
Because they're thinking of the TOS one, which is a totally... No, didn't have the same registry.
No, otherwise the Intrepid in Voyager would be the Intrepid C. Because there's an Intrepid in TNG and in NX era, and there might be one in... Oh, and in TOS. No, it has to be the specific ship legacy. Because when you add an A, you're freeze framing the registry. That's what you're celebrating. Not the name, it's the registry.
Yep.
So that's why now forever time Voyager will be the Voyager whatever, because they want people to remember the original Voyager that saved the name. But there will be other Voyagers probably, other Intrepids, other Defiants. Important distinction, guys.
Yeah. Will this season have 2 or 3 episodes of the TNG crew and the other 7 or 8 episodes be about Raffi and Seb? No. It's going to be the whole season.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be piecemeal, certain people, different episodes. They need to earn their,
Would any of the hulls from Wolf 359 be here? Possibly. Defiant failed against the Borg Q. One thing I was built for.
Well, no. Again, another misconception.
I knew you'd have something to say.
Yeah, no, that is incorrect. That was hour 19 of the battle. The Defiant survived when about 100 other ships got destroyed. So that thing, the fact that it was living with still weapons and shields up, no, it was one of the most tactically able ships of the fleet. That battle wasn't 12 seconds. It was 7 or 8 hours. So, no. It's like you associate the Generations battle with the Enterprise D only survived 5 torpedoes. But if you actually watch the movie and listen to the impacts, it took about like 25, 30 torpedoes with no shields. That's why it got destroyed, because it was getting constantly hit by weapons, not the 4 you saw. So I get it, it's fine, but super context, because the Defiant survived from the E being at the neutral zone to Earth.
Yeah.
Hours and hours and hours of fighting, and you can imagine Worf is never going to be backseat fighting. He's always frontlining, I mean, that ship was basically destroyed at that point. So no, sorry guys. That when it's there in the canon, like actually there, it's annoying people don't get it. It's like it's right there. It's right there.
Lewis Cox, I wonder what the Voyager A and what the Voyager B will be.
We'll see soon.
Voyager A, you'll likely see in Prodigy season 2. So if you're not watching Prodigy because you don't think it's Star Trek, then I'm sorry for you. So
yes, silly. All right, so let's look at the next ship. Now we know it's the Stargazer. So yeah, I mean, you can see by my render clearly that's an Akira. I mean, I think I sold you on that earlier.
Yeah.
In our other video.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see all of the shapes. Now the one to the left of that. Now that's, to me, clearly a TOS era, or Discovery. Ooh, no, I don't. Okay, clearly a TOS or Discovery era, as in a curved cylinder Discovery era. So very anti-Brian Fuller. Because to me, I see the back of a put a TOS colony in a cell in your brain. I see the back black bit, the main ring, the main tube, and the front glowing Bassard, but it's like a low yield Bassard, so it's a little bit yellow. There is a red ring, I don't get what it is, and there's a ship.
No, it looks like a Federation class dreadnought. Looks like there's a top nacelle and then the side nacelle sticking out, and we're just seeing the side of it. Although the nacelle's too close to the saucer for that.
Although really we should be seeing it like to the side, like the Akira, because it shouldn't be straight facing, but it's clear facing, like you say, that way. Because I'm thinking there's a ship that builds on the Sentinel, which is quite a flat connie.
Yeah, I can see that looking like the Sentinel.
Yeah, because it's clearly, I mean, well, in this angle, it looks as if the second hull is basically in the main body. I don't think it has 4 nacelles, although I'm not, because it could be the original Stargazer, which would be fun, the TOS one that Bill designed, but I don't see that. What do you guys think? This is, I mean, super out of focus.
Yeah. Lewis Cox, 5 pounds. One of my favorite ships in sci-fi is Defiant class Starship from Star Trek DS9.
The Aegis.
Dan Bevan says outside ones are holograms, hence the rings. Keep the really special stuff the real deal on the inside. I disagree. I think the rings, I like my idea where it's like a walkway with windows on the inside of the ring.
Or a turbolift.
So you can walk around and look at the actual ship like from different angles.
Well, they're going to be more than one deck tall. I mean, they're on a ship. So like I say, a walkway if you want to take the long road, and then a turbolift that goes like at 1 mile an hour. Because I mean, the circumference is quite a significant route. It'll take you a little while.
Get a nice pan around of the ship.
Yeah, you get an ice cream cone. When you step on, you lick and you eat it, and then you
yeah,
and you walk off, and you go next one.
Everybody's saying it's 99.9% sure it's the Excelsior. TOS looking to be the Excelsior.
I would be shocked if that was the Excelsior.
Everybody's saying it's definitely the Excelsior class. So
I don't see it. Do I have an probably an Excelsior right here in Eagles? Let's see if I do. Oh, Centaur. Well, no, I've raised myself.
It's not an Excelsior class.
Aha! I have one right here. I mean, the nacelles look entirely different, Stuart.
I know.
But I'm doing this for the fans. One of the earliest models. That's the one of the least detailed one. Look how detailed that part of the model is. It is grey. There is nothing there. Right, so. Here is the Excelsior. I mean, it's blue. not it's blue and well, it's blue and blue. Certainly not the secondary hull. That's not there. And there would be a more visible something there. No, it's more compressed than that. The secondary hull is more like a this, not like that. You definitely see this, and then the cells aren't long enough either. For even if it's like that.
Matt Boardman says it's the USS Horizon.
Oh, why is that in a museum? Oh, they hate it so much they decommissioned it instantly. Jesus. Well, no, I guess it's been 9-10 years. Well, maybe. Boy, if CBS got into my computer, stole my Horizon files, and it appears in Picard, Stuart, I will be surprised. Because that would be a... Imagine if you saw it on screen, Stuart. How would you react? Because you know what it looks like.
Yeah.
So you're like, huh? What? You know that scene where David Tennant says, what? What's that? He's very empowered. What? Yes, it would be that. I would be quite surprised.
According to the plaques in Picard Season 2, Episode 1, there is a Lancelot class USS Leon de Grance. The ship is placed on permanent display in the fleet museum.
What's a Lancelot class?
It could be a new type of class that we haven't seen yet.
But the fact they're taking the opportunity to make everything, like put everything that we know, why would you do a new ship? I mean, they barely made more assets as it is, you know. Lancelot's the weird, the entirely broken era ship, the test ship, the warp ship that John designed for post Nemesis, and then he put it as a pre TNG ship. Well, that's got raised nacelles, so that's upside down. God, I hate that in the era that it's in. God, I hate it so much.
Yeah. I don't know. It could be anything. It's hard to tell this distance and half obscured by the station. We are trying to see what it is. I just do not see Excelsior. As much as I look, I can't see an Excelsior there.
And I got Stargazer instantly. But Olimer says, is the HMS indistinguishable?
Yes. Or the USS Pixel, as somebody said.
USS Pixel Peep.
Cosmo, USS Pixels, thank you. Could it be a Prometheus class? Well, they would still be cutting edge, though. Well, not quite cutting edge, but they'd still be in service.
Yes, not museum worthy, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah.
No,
Unless it was the only one and they didn't make any more.
Oh.
But we see one in Prodigy, so that's not true. Upside down, mind you. Andorian battlecruiser? No, I don't think so.
Yes. This is very interesting.
It's very nice.
It's very nice. Yes. Okay, so let's go down to the bottom one, which is the other unknown, which... Now, Ferengi was mentioned. Colour-wise, yes. Well, I don't know. Is that left hand lack of shape? Unless it's facing forward, I guess it could be. I mean, but the left hand side makes it odd to me.
What do you think it is? Sorry?
Ferengi. Someone said it could be a Ferengi because it's obviously the colour. And if it's facing the same way as the Defiant, I do see it, but the left side looks very off.
To me, if it's a Ferengi, it looks like it's the back.
Well, yes, that would also be. I mean, it's just a curved orange blur. This one, but
Maybe
it's
one of
orange.
the ships from Unification.
Hey,
I got the same shape.
maybe it's maybe Gumtu, whatever, grew up.
Oh, Tin Man.
Tin Man, yeah. There you go. The guy came back. But boy, wouldn't that be a deep cut cameo? That guy walks in and is like, "Hello, everybody. I'm here to help with Picard Season 3. Wait, Buffy the Vampire Slayer Headmaster? Shut up. Tin Man says fuck off. That was another life, another time.
Looks like a Miranda missing some bits. Well, hey, The Mirandas were plug and play, so that's like the main body and the saucer, just without any of the roll bars or any other attachments.
Where are the nacelles meant to be on that? I mean, I don't see any nacelles, sir.
Well, they didn't put the nacelles on because they changed too.
Well, most Miranda variant, as you say, with nothing.
Yeah, and Chris Jackson, I agree with USS Millennium Falcon. I said the same thing in our other video.
Yep. No, absolutely. I mean, and in fairness, it is canon to the JJ verse, and in theory, that's canon to everything else. So you could absolutely have that. No, it's too small.
No, the Millennium Falcon's in First Contact.
Oh yes, right. Yes. I was thinking. R2D2.
You're thinking R2D2. Yeah, R2D2 is in 2 of the JJ movies.
It is. I mean, if I was a fan, I would put the Millennium Falcon in a film somewhere.
Ooh, interesting.
It might already have come out, and no one noticed. Mm-hmm.
Is it an actual ship in the background, or is it on like a desk or something?
Nope, it's a flying ship in battle. I mean, in a scene.
Oh, okay. You can take a look. Hey, museums restore things. Maybe it's a work in progress. I like that. Yep, you're absolutely right. Dauntless class. No.
No, sir. See if anyone notices there.
Is Star Wars a thing in Star Trek? No, I don't believe it is.
Well, I mean, technically, if it's before the eugenics war, then yes. So, yes, the original Star Wars would exist. The first 3.
What evidence do you have to support that?
Because the eugenics war happened after those films. And
it was 96. Yeah.
Exactly. So everything before 96 should be the same as us, and then as in mostly the same, and then it shifted.
Oh, yeah, but there's no because in Orville there's a reference that Star Trek exists because they're watching a television program and something I forget the exact context of it, but there's an implication that Star Trek exists in Orville. So,
I mean, I just mean it Yeah. Could be.
Philip Goyette, £5.
Thank you.
Would you watch an anthology series about the museum? Each episode you get a historical documentary about the ship and its crew. That is the silliest question ever, because yes is the answer.
And we joked about this 5 years ago when Discovery came out. Each bridge put a little bit of it doing green screen. Now with the LED wall, you could just build only the front pieces, which arguably are very expensive, but Kirk's. I mean, they sort of did it for the Octane thing, Roddenberry archive. Build the front helm console and Kirk's station, Kirk's chair, and you can have shots of the railing if you want to be fancy, and then all the rest of it's LED wall, and you can easily have over half the shots from TOS recreated very comfortably. Enterprise D, Wharf just build the middle stuff, and you're saving. I mean, I would assume the hardest bits are physically building the framework. I mean, the ceiling on the D is so complicated, for it to stand up and be secure, that's going to cost, I would assume, the big bucks. So you could easily do an anthology show. Yes, it's to be limited because of that. I get that, but because of how the LED wall tracks, you could easily have man walking down a TNG corridor in certain angles. You could do it. It's not.
And Matthew DeFree just answers and says, "We already have it. It's called Trekyards."
Yeah. Oh, my battleship, Jesus. It does, Commander. It does.
Dan says you can see R2D2 in the Cohen timeline. Yes, you can see them both. 2009 and Into Darkness. Into Darkness.
Do you think he got permission to do that? Because that's surely a licensing issue. But then, but they're licensing Star Wars inside Star Trek, and that would presumably George Lucas come to make him pay tens of thousands. I feel like that must have been a non-licensed Easter egg. Because are you going to sue J.J. Abrams, really?
Not considering he's going to be making your movie, because that was before.
Yeah, he wasn't there.
He was already working with them, so it would have been can I just throw that in? Yeah, sure. What the hell?
Well, he wasn't working with them yet. Maybe those rumblings. I'm sure he probably was in talks by Into Darkness, though.
Yeah. Captain, in my version of the Federation, everyone has gotten tired of replicated food and started eating natural stuff again.
Yeah. I mean, they have ships with hydroponics on, makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Hydroponic bays, etc.
Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities with this museum, and I'm super excited to see what they're going to show us. Hopefully they don't like. Hopefully they give us some like nice pans of some of the ships and stuff. I don't want it to be just a quick scene. I want to savor it. Let's see. We got 114 likes. Let's try to get another 6 to get to 120. And we have 92 votes on the poll. Go vote on the poll, guys. Let's try to get to 100 votes. The poll is that the classic Stargazer? And that's kind of like from a few minutes. But, so, yeah. In most cases, don't they work with ILM, which is owned by Lucas, so his team could add that stuff in no charge. Yeah, I don't know how that would work.
Oh yeah, they had the asset for sure. It's just licensing. I just think they said put it in. If they see it, it'll be fun.
Well, it's licensing isn't needed if it's just like quick, like what the fuck.
Well, it is.
It's not like focused on.
It is. It is because if you, it's like unless it's something like they filmed in a street that happens to be McDonald's, blurry out of focus 5 miles away. But like in like Superman, that big fight, everything was licensed. Every building you see, like it was all specifically put in there. Like because you can put Easter eggs that aren't licensed and you hope it's okay. But if you get caught, you could be in trouble. So it's a risk. But if JJ, his reputation, isn't it? It's all about if his clout. And Star Wars suing Star Trek is unlikely, so.
Yeah. Jordy looks pissed off. Yes, he does. Annoyed, maybe. It's more accurate.
But what do you think is going to be inside the museum? That's the real question. I'm saying it for the fans, obviously. What do you guys think?
I'm just thinking of our starbase that we have in our Star Trek Online fleet. When you go to the starbase, they got all of the uniforms lined up on the one wall, which looks really pretty. So I would hope they'd walk by some uniforms or something if they go inside.
Well, I mean, we know that they obviously did do a similar thing, an excuse to do it for season 2 with the Evil Museum. The weapon museum. We know, actually, Stuart, we were there at the Captain Picard museum in real life. They had all his uniforms.
Yes, they did.
So they could very easily, and obviously there's licensed uniforms, and they're not that hard to make if you have, the right patterns, which they do. I mean, that would certainly be pretty incredible to see and it's funny, you could have an entirely blank wall set, right? Fill it with some signage and every uniform in order from the archive, just on a mannequin, with a plaque, and Picard and Riker walk along it, and that's the entire scene. Yeah. And fans will just be, but they'd include Discovery, include all the different variations. Like that would be an entire sequence that they probably have all the stuff in their archive for. And imagine the fan reaction, and then it becomes like the modern stuff, and then the project uniforms there, and Low Deck's uniform there, and it's like ooh.
Will there be a food court with Gorn selling kebabs and Riker's famous pizza and quarks?
Yes.
We need a food court in here.
Oh my god, can you imagine if they show a CG Gorn that's like the classic one just to that's great. Yes, please. Yes, please. But guys, speaking of yes, please, 34 more bucks to hit our minimum. So if we can get 3 10s, 4 10s, we'll be over that, of course. 102 people watching. I'll do one poll before we close out, but we really would like that last 40. With 99 votes, is that, or was that the Stargazer? Shockingly same results almost. 48% yes, 34% can't tell, 18% no. And speaking of no...
ads. Perfect.
Yes.
Would be a large room displaying every uniform variant. That'd be a pretty big room to every variant.
Have you seen how big Spacedock is?
It's pretty big.
It's pretty big. You can fit that. It's fine. Wouldn't that be the most epic scene though? Just it's like a 4-minute walk and talk, and it's never ending uniforms because there would be every variation. It'd be great.
Commodore Sexton's Blackfoot Files is sucking up. He says there needs to be at least 3 incarnations of the USS Foley for premium ticket holders. Yeah, they're all parked inside. Those are the important ones. Question is, does the museum or Starbase have a Quark? So we already talked about that. It should have, because there's 27 franchised Quark locations. I would love that.
It really should. New poll, Stuart. It's a bit silly, I know.
New poll.
But give it a whirl. Give it a whirl.
It says, how excited are you for Picard Season 3? 10 out of 10, 7 to 9 out of 10, 4 to 6 out of 10, or 0 to 3 out of 10. Tangerine Star 26, £2. Would they drop a California class? I'd like that.
Well, I know that one of the VFX artist people, so they try to include a Parliament class, and they were told to remove it. So no.
Really?
Because they got some licensing issues with Lower Decks. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, which seems a bit silly, but yeah. Apparently, he tried to put it in a fleet shot, and they noticed and they took it out. And apparently, it was like deep background, but they saw it, which is quite impressive actually. The censors, CBS people, like, we see your cheeky mother effer. You put a Parliament in. It's 94 pixels to your left. How did you know? Because we know what you're like. Which is why my fan films are great, because I can include everything from every era as long as it makes sense. So that's why you should watch my fan films. Power 5 fan films on YouTube. There you go.
JT Gamer, Captain, I could see a kid asking their mother to buy them a copy of Kirk's Enterprise, and her turning to the kid and saying she doesn't have there's too many credits. No, I could see her turning around and giving her like a Strange New Worlds Enterprise, and it could be like, this isn't the one. Smash.
God. Or if they handle the one from the pilot.
Colin one.
Well, yeah. If you went back in time again and gave information of the JJ prize, I think his name was Yor, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But wouldn't it be great though if they same scenario, the mum hands the kid the Cage Enterprise? It's like, the deflector is too big.
That's more of a Lower Decks kind of joke, I think.
I mean, the first one was too, Stuart. Let's be honest.
I know. It's okay. I understand. Space Thing, Reckoning, $5. Finally got some cash, so I'm throwing y'all some too. This is a museum. I'd love to see the Enterprise E alongside Voyager as museum ships. The Enterprise E, there's still Sovereigns in service. I know the Enterprise F is doing its thing, so I mean it would be retired and put on the lineup with the Enterprises. But
I mean, museum's an interesting term because it if it's just the history of the ships, then because the E is already 30 years old, that would count. But the Sovereigns are certainly doing their thing still, which I loved seeing in the trailer. They were beautiful to see that many Sovereigns. And we're also seeing it in Lower Prodigy, which is only 10 years away from this. 7 years. Fleet of Sovereigns. And I feel like, if the Mirandas can live until TNG, the Sovereigns can live until way later, because they are far more robust. I mean, Quantums aren't going to get out of step anytime soon.
Space Thing says, honestly, I'm kind of wondering if this season is going to be a backdoor pilot for a launch show. That'd be a great idea, actually, because next show would be Star Trek Worf for like 3 or 4 seasons. I'd be down for
Dawn
that.
looks effing fantastic, as in the physical man, as does Geordie. I mean, give either of them. Yeah. And once the actor is 15 years younger, 10 years younger, I mean, you can do a lot more with that. Although it is kind of funny that Shatner looks younger than Patrick, despite being like 7 years older. But that's just William Shatner being an absolute legend at 90 and looking like 80s. Maybe an old-looking 70s. We've both met him several times. It's crazy.
Yeah, indeed. We need another $30.
Well, Pumpkin, that's that canonality. We don't know. We didn't see it on screen, and they uncanonize the comics all the time. So let's not be calling that. We don't know it was an Odyssey class. We don't know.
Yeah.
They didn't say that in the show. Plus, they changed producers. Let's not pretend that stuff isn't changed all the time.
And the Theta was okay. I wonder how long some ships could stay in service. I bet some Connies were still kicking around by TNG Movies in some corner of the galaxy, civilian or pirate. Well, there is a refit Constitution class in the Battle of Wolf 359. Not a TOS one, but yeah. The show will become Picard Legacy.
No. I'd rather be a Star Trek Titan, like in the sense of like a naming structure. I like the focus be on the ship name. Personally.
Is the Enterprise E 30 years old?
Yeah. I mean, First Contact is the 80s. This is the 20-something years. But it's also 20 years of high-end action versus the Connie's random exploration. I mean, wear and tear factors differently.
So, with that walk and talk by all the uniforms, it'd be funny if at the end of the uniforms they walked past like a doorway. It said the Hall of Forgotten Red Shirts or something.
Aww.
Somebody made that comment earlier. Have a gallery of red shirts.
And they can bring back the Strax actor from Lower Decks, who played the guy in Prodigy from TOS, have him re-reprise the role again for Picard.
Yep.
And have Aaron Moltke write him again, because now he's the most canon writer of that character. So yeah, the launch was in. Oh, that changed. Oh, okay.
And everybody keeps saying that Geordi looks like he's wearing an apron. It's probably an engineering apron of some kind. Looks like he owns a pizza place. Maybe he's working at Riker's Famous Pizza. He's head manager. He's district manager for the Alpha Quadrant. I like it. That's why he's so pissed off. Red Shirt Memorial Wing. There you go. They probably have a whole section dedicated to the 1701. Oh, I would imagine so, yes.
I mean, like I said, a Connie, was the initiator for so much legacy that was Starfleet. They expanded just like the NX.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's such an important testament. And I'm not against them having the Stranger Worlds Connie, but it just feels like such a disingenuous thing to have 60 years of legacy with one ship and then throwing the other one in because it's been in a couple of episodes. It's just there's only one Connie, right? Like there's one original Enterprise. Some people might like the other one better, but it's the definitive, right?
Chris Jackson. Oh, my watch pass code is 1701. There you go, everybody. That's his watch pass code.
Find him. Take it.
Information.
It's worth the plane flight, wherever you are. The Australian plane flight's worth it. Goodness. But guys, we have 24 more bucks to our minimum, which would be lovely. Put in the chat right now what you would like to see. What would be the one ship that isn't in this lineup that you need to see in this museum? That if they don't show it, you'll be genuinely disappointed. That could just be original Connie. It could be an NX refit. Don't know. Put right now. If you don't see it, you'd be sad.
Burnsy says LaForge Pizza or Riker Pizza. That's why he's so pissed off, and why he's wearing an apron. He created LaForge's famous pizza, and then he sees Riker on the view screen, and he's like, because he's the competitor. They've had a falling out over this. Yes, you solved the mystery. Those implants need to be paid off. So yes, extra job at the pizza place, at Riker's Pizza Place. Yeah, it looks like he's got new eyes too. They're not as mechanically looking as they were in First Contact.
It's been a long time,
It's been a long road.
Yeah. God, I really hope they do Star Trek Geordie. I mean, him and his two daughters. It's such an obvious thing to do. One being real daughter, one being not. Family man. Bloody hell, if he's the museum guy, even more so, Yeah. I don't know how you'd frame a show around that, but yes, do it.
JT Gamer says, well, Captain, they could have the Enterprise and the Enterprise A in the background. I'm pretty sure. I'll bet you money that's the Enterprise A refit there. First of all.
Uh-huh.
And then Aaron says, I'd love to see the Enterprise C. Well, she got blown up real good.
Unless we're retcon the retcon.
And Denise Crosby's or GR saved it, and she's working at the museum.
I mean, destroyed is a relative term. Maybe it got so blasted because everyone, like, people did survive. Did they launch an escape pod? It's like, why would you launch an escape pod if you're trying to buy Romulan ships? You'll be taken prisoner, right? So either way, they've been taken prisoner. So the ship could have survived, but in some drastically damaged form. Again, like, they survived, obviously. Someone was saying about, like, remember they just made the motion picture director's cut with a 4K ready Enterprise Classic refit. So they have got a movie ready model. So you would think they would give their other team the mesh using the same software and just slip it in and boom, it's a movie. No, I would and just slap an A on it. That would be obvious. Like, I mean, it's a cheat code, isn't it? It's right there. Yeah. Use it. Do it. Yes.
Peter Lakaka, $5, hoping for Enterprise D saucer. Yes, that would be great. In some capacity. The Romulans have it on display in their museum. Yes. It's like the Balance of Terry says, I display the hull of your ship. I forget exactly what he said, but yeah. Did Geordi marry the girl on the space station with the alien entity that posed as her dog? I don't know. We don't know. Maybe he's married to Leah Brahms.
Do it. I mean, just give him a happy ending. I mean, give him a nice wife. I mean, it all means the same thing, Stuart. I can't go away from it.
Happy endings are there.
I was about to say, Stuart, do you like happy endings in your life? Do you like a day that ends in a happy ending, that you feel like the day has passed well? Yep. I just... I
sure do. Happy endings are great.
To your story, you mean?
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly. Yep. Maybe they have it in a cell from 1701. I'm planning a mission to Narada 3 with some debris in my Star Trek adventure campaign. Hey, if they have a nacelle of the Enterprise C, I'll give them props. That'd be a very cool idea. So we covered it from the wreckage. Oh.
Yeah, no, I said space thing. We don't know anything. Leah was already married. Doesn't mean he can't die.
Or she can't just decide to leave him.
Or maybe she's a Mormon, future Mormon. Gets married again. Okay, are there two marriages? No. And maybe she's a space cult. She does too.
Maybe she's just polygamist. Not polygamist.
Free spirit.
Poly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe she bangs around and 2 husbands. 10 husbands.
Maybe she's married to a Denobulan, so it's fine that she marries 30 as well.
Yeah. Or Geordi killed him. I mean, any of these options. Because in all good things, he did say it's either Leah or Brahms. He did say one of those 2 words as his wife. I can't remember. I think it was Leah. I think because of how Leah and the kids. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he did.
Because Leah is less obviously Brahms. Brahms obviously Leah Brahms, but it's like, well,
yeah. And Dave says, is Geordi being head of the museum promotion or demotion after being the head of Mars Shipyards? I think it'd be promotion, more of a fun job.
Yeah.
Enjoy going to work every day. And he's if he was in command of the shipyards, like in the comics,
then Picard happened.
It's a natural fit to put him on the museum.
On his watch, Mars burned.
No, he left the day before.
Or one day after. He's one day from retirement. Mars burns. Oh.
Yeah.
God, imagine all of that. They flash back to season 1. It's just him standing like, I built all these damn ships from this. Damn it. The guy who wrote season 1.
Michael.
No.
Chabon?
Yes. Chabon.
Yeah.
The Roman prayed to at the time. Rectu Chabon. Yes. Pumpkin spice. We know, but it shows it could happen, and the fact that he could find love with her, that's important.
And yes, the Enterprise A was retired. It was decommissioned, so it makes perfect sense that it's still there.
Yeah. I mean, you can imagine that the team would say, we haven't got the original, this is pretty damn close. Pretty damn close.
Yep.
And I mean, Kirk did work with it for a while. Like, I mean, a good couple of years. It wasn't just a you know. I mean, Starship 3. I think it was like 6 years he was on the A. Doesn't seem like it, but I think he was. What do you think? What's your gut reaction? How many years? I'm looking up now, but I'll say 6.
I'd say 6 is a good call out, but I'd say maybe closer to 10.
Because I know between 1 and 2 there's actually quite a gap. Okay, 85 was Star Trek 3, which is at the end of 3, yeah. To 85 to 93. So 8 years. 8 years. Yeah. Wow. That's a long time.
Between 6 years and 10 years, like I said.
I mean, that's a long time to be on the A. That's a lot of adventures, and he was not old in Undiscovered Country, and he was zipping around. God.
And Zango's like, heck, even God wanted the Enterprise A.
I mean, God needs nothing with the Starship, but there's a lot with Enterprise A. How? God, can you imagine, Stuart? Okay, question. Hold on.
Yes. What?
In 10 years, if Paramount commissioned a Enterprise A series with a Strange New World cast in full Wrath of Khan costume,
I'd be down. I'd like it.
Let Ansem out, put a few more wrinkles in. That'd be surreal.
He's supposed to be dead, or not dead, but crippled.
Oh, you're right. Well, I mean the Kirk actor, I guess, the new Kirk guy. But I mean the people.
Or Wesley.
Yeah. That'd be really interesting. That'd be so surreal. But like full prime can, like fuck Stranger World. No offense, like, because then you can't be saying, oh, the movie Undiscovered Country looks so cheap. No, it doesn't. Like, you can't be saying these things. Like, you can only say it about TOS. 6 does not look cheap in any way. It looks great. It holds up beautifully. So don't be saying that. That would be very cool, actually. I'd love to see their take.
Yeah. Yep, it would. All right, I don't know if we're going to get our minimum. We're like $18 away, but yeah. So you guys can super chat in. That'd be great. We need another 3 likes to get to 130. That would be amazing. If you haven't hit that like button yet. But yeah, gonna run out of speculation on the museum thing. I'm starting to develop a headache.
Yes, talking to you people, thinking this hard. Oof,
I've listened to Samuel more than enough today. Trust me.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's quite a long day.
Yeah, you never sent me the audio.
I did.
See, WeTransfer didn't get anything. Just like you didn't get mine either. Okay, send me the link versus send me the files, because that's Yes.
Okay, let me see here. Let's just confirm with the email that it sent it, because
I got no email. I got no email. Yes.
I don't even have an email saying confirming it was sent.
WeTransfer is having a day. Chris, sir, the Cage era you. And can I say, with that beard, you look very ready for Cage era. Like, I know you aren't wearing it, but you would absolutely suit Cage era in that. Dude, that's amazing. Thank you so much. Past our minimum. Yes. Excellent.
All right, I'll send that again, but...
Well, no, just send me the link. Just send me the...
There is no link.
No,
usually they send a confirmation email that it was successfully sent.
No, it's fine. Go on your WeTransfer profile, find the send that's what I did for you. Just find the transfers and go for sent, and then that's what it is. Yeah, that's how I do it. Because it's not sending a confirmation or an actual email. Boy, we have a meeting now. Yeah, it should be February.
Yeah, it was sent 6 hours ago. Okay,
yeah.
Copy link.
And then just give me that. Yeah, that's what happened to me with you. Having a meeting there. Oh, yeah, all of them. All of them. Boy will visit everything. Burnsy, yes. I'm actually growing my hair out for a film. That's why. I know, it's getting a bit silly.
I should show them the pictures you sent me earlier.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I shaved just for you, Stuart. And then I grew it back just for you, Stuart. And now I'm this just for you, Stuart. So.
Thanks, babe.
But yeah, I'm going for a role. Because yeah. But I asked the question though, with 70 votes, how excited are you for Star Trek Picard Season 3? The 10 out of 10, 35%, so over a third. The 9 to 7, or the 7 to 9, still a lot, 32%. The 6 to 4, 4 to 6, 15%, and 0 to 3, 17%. So either very lots or not at all, give or take. Interesting.
And yes, thank you, Chris, for that. That really helped. So, for the cause.
Yes, indeed. Thanks for the link, Stuart. Appreciate it, bud.
Told you I sent it.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Bitch.
Whore.
And on that note, thank you for watching, guys. Go check out our edited version of this that was released yesterday and the Titan animation that was today.
Share it, guys.
Please today.
Please share it.
A lot of content from us all the time.
Yes.
For the hardest working Star Trek channel on YouTube. And
we do a lot of stuff. We do a lot of stuff.
So until next time, he is Commander Cocking.
He is Captain Foley.